Good morning. Welcome to Countdown to Pull Time here from the Wisconsin Dairyland Super Nationals presented by Budweiser in Tomah, Wisconsin. Had a great session 1 last night here in Tomah. Session 2 coming to you this afternoon. 5 exciting classes. We have light pros, 4-wheel drives, diesel super stocks, modifieds, and light super stock tractors. So I am joined by Al Paulson from Columbus, Wisconsin, owner and driver, along with your son, of the light pro stock, the Deer Addiction. Al, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your tractor. Obviously, it's a John Deere, but what model is it? And tell us a little bit about your tractor.
It's a John Deere 8345R. We built that tractor in 2010 as a hot farm for Badger State, which we ran for 6 years. Had a lot of success with it, and just decided to move to the light pro stock class because, quite honestly, one of the reasons we did that is so we'd have a chance to come and pull at Tomah.
Yeah, so you're from Columbus, Wisconsin, just south of here. About how far is it from your home to here?
A little under 2 hours, like hour and 45 minutes gets us here.
Nice. So that has to be really cool to have such a big, outstanding event so close to home.
It is. I've actually been coming here to watch pulling for 30 years, and this is our 7th year, I believe, coming here to Tomah to pull, and we always have a great time. I always look forward to it.
Great. So your son's doing the driving this morning?
Yep. My son Kyle, he started driving when he was 16 years old. And I remember Jason Schultz was at our first pull that day when he first drove that tractor, and he actually pulled off a win on Father's Day at a Badger State hook down in Edgerton. And he's been driving ever since. We actually now just take turns. He drives one pull, I pull the next time. We just switch back and forth all the time, and I think it's fun to actually watch your tractor go down the track. You have a tendency to learn more things when you're watching sometimes than you do sitting in the seat. So it's been pretty fun.
Yeah. So that's great. I mean, so what do you guys do for a living in Columbus, Wisconsin?
We're actually a cash grain farm, and we also have a Pioneer seed dealership. We have close to 30 customers we take care of. A lot of times we talk to numerous customers on a daily basis, almost every day of the year. It's just got a lot of nice customers to work with, and we enjoy doing that. And then we have quite a few acres we run with just corn and soybeans.
Great. So you guys work together and pull together. That has to be really, really, really cool.
I'm just blessed, very, very lucky to have that opportunity to work with your son.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said you built the tractor as a hot farm. Now, is that where you started your pulling career, or did you start in another class and move up to hot farm and now to the light pro?
No, we went straight to hot farm in Badger State, and the Badger State hot farm class is a really good class. I mean, some of the best hot farms in the nation are in Badger State, and it was a lot of fun. I built the tractor with Craig Weilman down at
Yes.
K&K John Deere Specialties, and good friends with the Weilman family. And I was going to build it at my place, and Craig said, why don't you just build it here? So we're about 35 minutes from their shop, and spend a lot of time down there. We've done a lot of stuff together over the years.
Yeah, and they're in Edgerton as well. And, I mean, some of the most beautiful John Deeres, and now other brands, too. The K&K Specialties, they produce some great products out of their shop.
Craig's extremely talented, and he's just a really great friend, and very thankful to have the opportunity to work with him.
Yeah, and former Grand National champions in the Pro Stock division as well. So
Yes.
So how long have you been pulling?
I started in 2010, and so I guess it's been 14 years already.
Nice. So now this is do you run most of the NTPA Region 3 events for the light pro?
We actually run the full Badger State schedule is what we do every year, but we got a couple favorites that we like to go to, obviously here at Tomah, and then usually try to go down to Lancaster to Jeff Ball's pull. That's a great facility, great pull there, fantastic track. And when we get time, we got other things we like to do too. My wife and I like to go camping and do some fishing, and we got work to do too once in a while, so we can't just always take off pulling. But yeah, we have a nice schedule. We really probably only have 13, 14 hooks a year, which is absolutely perfect for me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it gets you enough to get you out there and have fun without getting burned out of it and making it another job.
Right. and the camaraderie between classmates and stuff. We really have a good group in Badger State. Everybody jokes around with each other all before and after each pull, and we just have a good time together.
That's great. So the Light Pro class, tell us, for our new fans out there, tell us a little bit about the rules for the Light Pro. Because we have a lot of different, we've talked about Hot Farm. There's Light Pro, Limited Pro, Super Farm, 5.0 Pro Stock. There's, Pro Stock, and then Super Stock Diesel. So there's a lot of different classes in the diesel realm. So tell us a little bit more about the rules for Light Pro.
Light Pro stocks are 8,500 pound. The rules are a little different between organizations right now because just recently PPL, which is our parent company for Badger State, allowed component chassis.
Okay.
I don't know if there's actually any. There's none in Badger State at this time, and very few in the country right now, but it'll be coming. And we're a 540 cubic inch motor, single turbocharger, with a 5-inch intake limit and a 4.5 exhaust limit. We have to run a P-Series pump, P7100, and did I say we're 8,500 pounds?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And right now, like for NTPA, there are no components allowed, and no billet heads or anything like that either.
Okay.
So yeah, but there's nobody in our group that wouldn't be eligible to pull here at this time. So
okay. So to make that jump from the Hot Farm class to the Light Pro class, I mean, what kind of changes did you have to make to do that?
Oh, quite a few. Like, you kind of don't think about it right away, but we used to run on a 20.8 38 tire instead of the 24 532s we're on today. So virtually everything's wrong.
Yeah.
The hitch is too low. When we put the 32-inch rim size tire on, the wheelie bars are way too low. Everything was just built differently for that other tractor. So I had to do a lot of changes to make that work. And of course, the motor, you're going from something that has maybe some stock components in it to virtually no stock components anymore. We had to do a lot of work on the rear end to handle the power, and even that didn't work at first, and we had to do that again. But we hope we have it in pretty good shape now.
Good. So do you guys do your own engine and engine work?
No, just the maintenance on it we do ourselves, but
Okay.
I work with Phil at Riverside Engine on my engine at this time.
Okay, yeah. They're in Ohio. They've been around for a long time in the diesel classes. So
He's actually worked with me since the start. Even our 466 was Riverside.
Nice. So you mentioned, some of the pulls you pull. What are some of your favorite places to pull?
Oh, Toma by far is my favorite to come and pull at. But I'd say the most favorite one I have for Badger State is actually at Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. That pull we actually call our hometown pull. I work with Chris Feller pretty hard there. We are in charge of doing the track, getting everything prepped for the pull itself. I actually take my machinery up to Beaver Dam, and that's what we work the track with and get all prepared. It starts pretty early in the week where we have to keep an eye on the weather. If it's not going to rain, we have to start watering it very, very soon, and keep the track moist before the day of the pull. If there's rain in the forecast or it looks like we're going to get dumped on, then we kind of just leave it and let Mother Nature take care of the watering. So that's a lot of work. We have 6 classes that night. We run 2 tracks, and we got our pro stock class in Badger State is a pretty big class now. We got 13 pro stocks most of the time, which is quite a show to put on, and it takes a good track to have a pro stock run.
Yes, that's for sure. I mean, those bigger classes and the big pro stocks, they take a lot of power, and you need a good solid power track for those high horsepower classes. So you mentioned weather, track building. Last night, the weather held out for us. We had a great show last night. It was very exciting. Some really, really good finishes. The 4-1 pro stock class, Dean Halicki won that class. Imagine that, Dean Halicki winning in Toma. I think that's like win number 10 or 11 with the semi and now with the light pro. The open supers, John Strickland with Galat 2 back on top, and John said it'd been a while since he won with that tractor, so it's good to see that. And our mini, Jeff Hurt won the mini modified class. Bill Leichner 2 in a row to start the season for the modified division. Bill always pulls really well here in Toma, from just down in Illinois. And Bill has always done very, very well here in Toma, and that continued, a great start to the season for him. And then Jason Sullivan with the corn burner won the 2-wheel drive class. He was the 8th hook out of 45 trucks and put that mark out there, and no one else could catch it. That's 2 weeks in a row. Or, in Farley, Donnie Sullivan, your defending Grand National champion with Big Stick, was the first hook in the class of 37. Donnie Sullivan put it out there and nobody could catch him. So we've seen that. Now, they did cover the track last night after the pull, and so they just opened it up a few minutes ago. We did get a shower come through, but, it looks like hopefully we're going to get a window to get this pull in this afternoon. And hopefully the weather holds out. I know you guys are the first class on the grandstand side.
Yeah.
So, do you know how many are in your class, Al?
I believe there's only 11 today.
Okay.
And
So, hopefully we get that window. We can get that. There's around 40 four-wheel drives on the second class on that track. On the pit side track, we're going to start off with diesel super stock tractors, and then we'll have the four-wheel drive. The mods and the light supers also on that track. I'm not sure what the order is on the pit side track exactly. So definitely come back, be ready for noon Central, 1 Eastern for the live stream to start. Looks like we're going to try to start on time. Wagering is open at Full Pull Picks. So go ahead, make your wagering, live wagering, real money. There is some seed money in there. Through full pull picks, so you can make your picks on that. So again, I want to thank you, Al, for coming in this morning. Tell us a little bit more before I let you go. Tell us a little bit about your team. I know it's you and your son. Who else helps you out and allows this and enables this to happen?
Good friend of my son's, Stephen Taylor, helps. He does a great job of just being there to help with any little part we need to do. And, and of course my family, my wife, Kelly, and my daughter Emma's not here at this time because she's working, so she couldn't come. But she, of course, has to call and wish us luck always, too. But, yeah, it takes a team. It's a lot of work to keep a tractor, competitive, and you just stay at it. And we got some great helpers.
Yeah, just to have the support of that team, it really means a lot. Now, we talk about when you get to the event, everybody sees that, right? You see the people that are on the team helping you unload it, getting it across the scales, getting the hitch checked, getting you staged. Now, how much time and effort does it take back home in the shop throughout the winter? Pulling is not... it's not like today's Friday, right? It's not like Monday you rolled it out and said, hey, let's go to Toma on Thursday night, So tell us a little bit about the work that goes into that.
A lot of maintenance, with the light pro stocks run a lot of RPM, so you got to do valve train maintenance a lot, make sure everything's right and tight, and, just things like that. You just constantly check it to make sure it's not hurting itself. And we've been very lucky, knock on wood, on that. But just as little as cleaning it up and stuff, it just takes a lot of time to keep it and maintaining it and have a really nice looking machine.
Exactly. Well, Al, again, thank you for your time here. On behalf of Full Pull Picks and Full Pull Live, we want to thank you. Wish you good luck today. And throughout the weekend here at the Budweiser Wisconsin Dairyland Super Nationals in Toma, Wisconsin. Again, live stream starts at noon. That's noon Central, 1 Eastern. And in just a moment, we are going to turn this over to Miles Krieger and Super Stock Diesel 4-wheel drive competitor Nick Gillette. So, Al, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you.
Well, good morning. We're back here for the countdown to poll time. My name's Miles Krieger. It's an honor to be part of this group and this awesome day here in Tomah, Wisconsin. I say awesome day, but we are getting some moisture outside. Mother Nature has done what it does here in Tomah as typical, and we're getting a little bit of moisture here, and the forecast does not look perfect by any means at all. But my name's Miles Krieger. I am one of the announcers here over the course of the weekend for the Wisconsin Dairyland Nationals, and obviously we thank Budweiser and their support. They have continued to do awesome things. We want to remind you folks to make sure you visit Full Pull Picks, place your bets, and we are now doing real money gaming, an opportunity for you to pick your 2 favorite vehicles in each of those classes and place your wager down and have an opportunity to have some cash back in your account. So all of that officially is going with us this weekend. Sitting here to my left is Nick Gillette. Nick, thanks so much for joining me for this time and then taking this time this morning just to chat a little bit. Obviously, we're off and running in 2024.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here with you, Miles.
Well, I know, let's talk last year here at Tomah. Pretty special event, pretty special moment for you and the family. What does it mean to capture your first win right here?
Oh, it was an unbelievable feeling. We were in the class for 2 years before that and just couldn't get to the top. A lot of seconds and thirds, but here in Tomah, we finally got it done.
Now, let's talk a little bit as well. Let's go back to the very roots, obviously, how you got started, where it all kind of began for you, in some of the lower level, maybe diesel pickup classes before you really jumped up and made the way all the way to the top here.
Yep, so growing up, we really weren't involved in tractor pulling. My dad married into the Walliser family, married Alexis, your cousin.
Through blood, not really, but in my world, she is my cousin, absolutely.
So, yeah, it started at 2.5, just did some local fair stuff. We went to 3.0, pulled with Region 2 in OSTPA. And then I think it was 2020, Don Bowling came to us with the opportunity to purchase his pulling for the gear truck, and that's what we have now.
That's awesome. And you start looking at that, you think a little bit more about that truck was very successful for Don. Obviously, Don kind of had some learning curves there where he kind of got started and what he built off of. And as Don moved a little bit more into the game, obviously he made his way to the top of the ranks. And obviously you and Dad have done the same thing. It's taken you just a little bit of time to get everything configured and dialed in, and you have moved yourself up again. So 2024, we're off and running. We're in a points race. Things are going pretty well thus far. Let's talk a little bit about Hutch last week and kind of how things went.
Yeah, Hutch there, the Friday night was our first hook of the year. Van Hazley made a very nice pass earlier in the class. Hutch is not really a good four-wheel drive class, but like I told everybody else this week, it's the best track I've ever been on.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good for us Friday night, so it was nice to get a win, start the season, and hopefully we can keep that ball rolling.
All right, so off-season of 2024, did you make any big changes heading into this season, knowing that you had just kind of started to find your winning patterns in 2023?
The winter was kind of slow. Believe it or not, we left here last year after winning the weekend. I think we're first and third. Went home, decided to change motors. We went from a Hazley Super B to an aluminum block from Kent Crowder at Shy Diesel. We struggled a little bit there. We're kind of kicking ourselves like, why, I don't know. We come off a win, and then he's taking the motor out. Nothing was wrong with it.
That's my next question. Why did we make that change?
What inspired that? Nothing was wrong. We went to a 3-charger setup last year, and we were just worried about the cast block durability was the biggest thing. Fortunate enough, it made 2 passes in Hutch and 2 here, and that was good enough for us. So
Yeah, so I guess now as you feel comfortable getting everything kind of dialed in and set in there with your new configuration, obviously you didn't have a lot of changes to have to make in the off season because you'd already made them in the middle portion of the season.
Correct.
So now you have some data, which is awesome. You don't find exact track conditions from one track to the next, but some commonality with air and some commonality with the surface, right?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, the dirt really does matter. Sandy tracks, heavier clay. We did order some new tires over this winter that kind of help play with that. And the biggest thing is these new Von Bauer sleds.
Yes, sir.
They pull a lot different than what we're used to. So our tires need cut different, softer sidewalls to hook easier. But
Those are things that I think you and I just were literally talking off camera about the areas of thought that don't really ever get a thought outside of it. It's just something that just doesn't really come to your mind, and then all of a sudden it's a player. Let's talk about those sleds. I mean, obviously, I think the main objective right now for the sled is to let you get off and running quickly, and then try to bring you to a stop just as quickly, equally as quick. And so we are seeing longer tracks more naturally. Yes. It seems like we're pulling 340, 350, at times 360 feet. Do you prefer that?
Yeah, for our class, with the amount of horsepower we make on a small tire, if you watch the class, a lot of times we're not wide open till 200 feet on the track.
Sure.
So for us, we need 330 plus to really get the trucks moving and put on a good show.
Do you feel, I mean, obviously we talk about the driver's seat and kind of going by the feel. Do you drive pretty well off a feel and based on knowing how all four tires are under you and then you go?
Yeah, it is all by feel and actually by sound too. You can really hear those tires humming if they're just spinning and not going anywhere.
Understand. Well, you and I talked off camera a little bit about what happens in the hours and the days between events. Obviously, you were at the highest peak you could think of, a big win to kick off the Grand National Series for 2024 in Hutch. Yep. And then over the course of the last couple of days, you've been humbled a little bit with things that don't ever have any kind of notification. You really have no idea it didn't occur on the track.
Yeah, it's always a travel experiences. It's like you said, stuff you don't see. So we left Hutch with a win. Took our hauler and stuff. Steve Burge drove it up to Larry and Lisa Peterson's for us. We flew in Monday. Thought we had a trailer brake issue. Worked on the truck Tuesday. Got everything serviced. So Wednesday before we left, we figured we'd back that brake off and get down the road. Well, that turned into a wheel bearing, and the inner race was welded to the spindle. So we got on the phone with axle surgeons. They could be here originally on Friday to cut the spindle off, weld a new one on. Luckily, they were able to make it Thursday. So we came down Wednesday with the toter, stayed with the family, hung out with all the pullers and stuff. Me and Dad left Thursday morning here at 7 to go get the trailer. We made about 3/4 of the way to Baldwin, Wisconsin before a lifter broke and put a window in the cylinder head of the toter. So, a lot of phone calls, a lot of good help, friends. Craig Dickey and Chris Kuslik. If it wasn't for them, we probably still wouldn't be here. Yeah. They found us a toter to use. They found us a shop to get our stuff hauled to. So luckily, rented a toter for the weekend in our own trailer, and hopefully Mother Nature holds off.
Yeah, I hope so too. Now, I mean, obviously we consider ourselves to be professionals in the sport of truck and tractor pulling. You run at the highest level, but obviously outside of truck and tractor pulling, there's something else that you do. There's a way that you and Dad and Mom are able to afford all of this. So let's talk about what you do as a professional outside of this game.
Okay, so my dad, he runs a plastic injection molding company out of Defiance. His first marriage with my mom, my mom's side, his ex-father-in-law, they owned a commercial floor covering business. So we do a lot of like rubber commercial floor tiling, baseboard, all that kind of stuff. Worked there after college for my mom, and this last fall I've decided to farm full-time. We always farm some, and that kind of just kept growing and growing and growing. It was a lot to take on, everybody working full-time and trying to keep the farm going. So
sure,
I'm currently right now at home farming, and let's see where it goes.
Absolutely, but that seems to be a natural fit for you and seems to be something you're passionate about. And I guess I have 3 little ones of my own, but my dream for them would always be to be able to chase their things they're passionate about. So obviously that's really important. As you evaluate your goals for 2024, let's talk a little bit about your hopes and kind of what's on your bucket list.
Our goals obviously is keep winning. Points championship would be awesome. Me and Eric Stacy, we battled all last year, and he's a very good competitor. We actually went into the last poll at Sandwich, Illinois, tied.
Right.
And he came out on top. It was kind of hard to swallow, but that's pulling.
Sure.
So hopefully, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's out of reach to shoot for a Grand National Championship.
No. You have definitely warranted that consideration.
So that's our goal for this year. I know my dad's youngest kids, they're starting to grow up and they're starting to want to drive, so I better get it done pretty quick.
Yeah, you've got some competition now coming very soon. So
Yep.
Obviously, let's talk a little bit about this weekend and the schedule. As you start to dig in and kind of the long days here. Super Stock diesel tractors run today. We have light Super Stocks, 4-wheel drives, mods, and the light Pro Stock first session. You guys run tonight, or are scheduled to run this evening, correct?
Yes, tonight and tomorrow at noon.
So it's pretty quick for you turnaround sessions-wise. You get to run in session 3 and session number 4 here over the course of Toma. Let's talk a little bit about, obviously your roots in the 2.5 and 3.0 classes and kind of where you were. Are there some events that kind of pique your interest to tell folks they might want to attend someday, your favorite or your best-kept secret events that really don't get all of the notoriety, like a Toma, Bowling Green, a Chapel Hill, those big, large events?
The 2.5... I kind of lost touch with that class. I'm not sure if it's really around much. It was just kind of, the Thursday night county fair deal.
Sure.
The 3.0 stuff, we always like to go like Arcola,
yes, sir.
Indiana. That's always a good pull there. The Shy Diesel Extravaganza, most people are familiar with.
Yes, sir.
You'll have, when we were pulling there, we had 50 or 60 trucks trying to qualify.
Yes, sir. Yeah, those are some long, as an announcer, I'm going back there this year to announce that event. But, the preliminary qualifiers where you've got 40 on both different tracks trying to qualify, 12 for the finals, and maybe 85% of them are a 90 series Dodge.
Yeah, a lot of second-gen Dodges.
It makes it a little bit of a challenge as an announcer to try to keep any enthusiasm as you have another gray Dodge coming to the starting line here. But you think about all of the sport and what we've done. Full Pull has started to change some things with the launch of the live stream and also doing now money gaming that's occurring and some pretty cool things. So, as we continue to evolve, I'll ask you, are tires the biggest change in technology that you've experienced recently, or what's the newest change?
Yeah, I really do believe it's tires. We use Bob Nichols, buy our tires, he cuts them. The last few years he's came out with some new compounds that have really helped our class. The natural four-wheel drive guys, I think they run a lot of Mayhill stuff and doesn't need the stiff tire like we do with the extra horsepower and weight. But yeah, Bob's really helped improve the whole class.
Yeah, I think in terms of, if you were to ask me, let's say 2 or 3 or 4 things that are the biggest changes in this game right now and what's really making the biggest difference, I think tires have to be one of them. The integration of Mitas and trying to bring Mitas tires in as well. And then from that aspect, you also want to think about fuel and air. I think that's another really big aspect. And
yes,
obviously I think Weimer has sort of conquered the market in some of those instances. There are other folks out there I know that are really battling and trying to get back up there and doing a phenomenal job in that. But I think those are the big kind of game changers right now in our sport. And then obviously we've already alluded to the idea of the sled changes that are happening. I think in the mini class it's tires. There's a hot discussion every day about tires.
Yes.
And in some of the bigger classes, the 30.5, there's some more competition coming in there now for Mitas, and so I'm anxious to see, I guess, what will come and what's going to evolve here in the coming years as we watch change and evolution occur.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Now, let's talk about social media or ways that fans can follow you guys. If there are team pages that you have, if there aren't, I totally understand that as well, but I always try to give somebody an opportunity to build their following.
Yeah, we really don't have a team page. All of us have some personal Facebook accounts. I know there's a lot of top shelf TikToks out there with my younger siblings. They like posting that stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think if you search Top Shelf Pulling on TikTok, you'll be able to come across some videos.
I'd say that's probably a true statement. Now, as you get ready to go this evening, let's talk about prep. What's the typical prep time start for you? As you start looking at it? Do we start at 5 o'clock? Do we start at 5:30 for a 7 o'clock show start? And what all do you do? I mean, obviously the warm-up process is integral and it's important, but there's a time and a calculation and an idea. We want to build to a certain heat. We're going to monitor our data logger. We're going to do all these things.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, we got to service everything there in Baldwin on Tuesday, so there's not a whole lot there. We like to get the truck out probably 2 hours before the show, start it, go over things, make sure nothing leaks, make sure the data looks good, and from there, it's kind of easy sailing. We don't really have to warm our motors and oil up like some of these big tractor classes do. Yeah. It's pretty straightforward and easy, really.
Well, that is wonderful, sir. Well, I wish you the best. Obviously, I thank you for joining me today and taking time. Obviously, the last few days have been a bit of a rush for you, and I know that you're just glad to have your feet on the ground in Tomah.
Yeah, we were all ready for bed last night, that's for sure.
Well, folks, my name's Miles Krieger. This is Nick Gillette. This is the Countdown to Pull Time with our friends at Full Pull. We want to remind you that we are wide open and ready to go for you to go to Full Pull Picks and place your picks. Pick the top 2, and if you have not already done so, you can log in, create an account, and after you create that account and set up the deposit information, they're going to put $20 into your account right off the bat and give you an opportunity to go and pick a class or two and set your picks for who you think might win in one of the afternoon classes or even this evening's class. So now's the time to do that. It's wide open and ready for you to be a part of pulling and bringing gaming to this venue. So we're so excited for that. It's your opportunity to do so. Again, this is Miles from Countdown to Pull Time, and we're getting ready to go pulling here around noon. Hopefully, we get started with session number 2 in Tomah. Thanks, bud.